back, everybody. After our nice brief delay, we are back into it. Now, Zaf, looking at the builds, how do you feel about everybody's start? Everything looking pretty standard?
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty standard. I am looking at the best at build. I know Bumba's been getting used a lot more lately, and I'm curious to see how she'll facilitate using I instead of Bumba's in the jungle here.
Yeah, Bumble's Dagger certainly coming back into the meta, kind of surprisingly because we haven't really seen too much of it this season. But it's a good item regardless. Eye of the Jungle gives you just a little bit more damage early, a little bit less late, so no bad items indeed. A little bit of aggression coming out here, looking to get some damage onto the Apollo, finding too much, and even if they do, he's paired with that emoji, going to be able to heal up no problem. Throw a couple autos his way, throw a 2 over there, and he's back to full without even using pots, so should be just fine over here. If anything, I'd probably be looking at the solo lane for an early kill. Mulan versus Opwash is certainly volatile, as we see Mulan struggling a little bit with the clear. Opwash just so much damage early with those corpses, gets his health back, gets everything he wants, and just definitely giving him a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of trouble that they're having over in the solo lane. There's so much pressure this upwatch is just gonna bring out on this team. It's gonna be really hard for that Mulan to be active over there.
Yeah, Bastet looking for a little bit of action in this dual lane, not going to find any. Moja and Apollo, plenty of movement to get on out of there. No issues coming out. We'll be able to secure the shield camp over there, though, getting themselves a little bit of a neutral lead. Other than that, though, nice, peaceful early game. Not seeing any, real early jungle kills coming out of these ganks. Just playing nice and slow.
I'm not finished yet.
Mulan just cannot survive in this lane. Maybe once that slow leader gets finished, be able to sustain a lot better. Gotta level up in that too. Get the mastery so you get the nice healing. Just takes time.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I'm really interested in how these ADCs work in that mid to late game. Are we going to see the battle of the split pushers? Are we going to see more team fight oriented? With Frank, it's always hard to say. Is that Chernobog with teleport? Only time will tell.
Yeah, Chernobog with teleport. He'll get to lane really quickly, and like he'll if he gets pressure, he'll be keeping it. It's not something that Chernobog will be losing very easily. And I do see that the Chernobog opted for Death's Toll instead of the Gilded, and we also have Apollo with Cowl instead of Gilded as well. I'm curious to see how they'll upgrade their starters closer to the end of the game.
Yeah, definitely. We've been seeing a lot more Cowl recently. Death Toll still not the most popular, but I kind of understand it, with the way his 2 works. Works just like an auto, you get to hit the whole wave with it, you get all that nice healing, but the leader's cowl especially been really prevalent in the late game. So we're not too surprised to see that. Other than that though, just nice peaceful early game. Everybody's slapping each other up just a little bit, but no one's looking for blood quite yet. Mulan finally starting to get some pressure of her own over there. Just needed a couple levels, couple masteries. Great damage comes out onto the Apollo, has just barely enough mana to dash out, and that puts the dual lane at about half health, but the emoji healing is gonna take care of that no problem.
Yeah, she'll be getting them back up to full really quickly. And then we did see Ymir end up using his wall in the ult. That's something that is really going to be prevalent late game. If you hit a good wall and ult, people are just
Ooh.
going to get deleted.
Cuckoo Beads forced out, great gank from Twig, hits that blink stun, sends Tectonics to the gray screen for our first blood, and definitely love to see a rat getting active early.
Yeah, Rat getting active early is really gonna transition him into the mid and late game because he'll have a good spikes to keep himself sustained and up well.
Yeah, Umoja taking a little bit of poke here, but who cares? It's a Umoja. It's it's an Apollo. Even if you send them back to the fountain, they're not going to be there very long. Apollo actually getting quite low here. Good River's Rebuke cuts off the Cherno, making sure he has to go ahead and use his dash defensively. Not going to care though. Twig is going to take that kill. You might have dashed into the wall to evade the Rivers, but
But
unfortunately, I am here from Yggdrasil. Upwash using the ult, getting Mulan very low, and that TP is not quite available yet. Sitting at about 15 seconds, so going to lose probably half of that wave, maybe even the whole thing, honestly.
yeah, the tower taking a lot of that gold is a really big disadvantage that ends up happening with these early games. I think it's probably drops the brute minions from 48 gold to around 8 gold, and it's a massive jump down. So it's going to put her quite behind, losing those waves to tower.
Yeah, still a very close game. Only looking at about 700. I mean, that's a neck and neck. And that though, starting to get items a little bit online, finishing up those first items, maybe starting to go into a second. XChell popping the ult a little bit early there, looking for that CC immunity. Spirit of the Nine Winds lands onto the Emoja. Riptide out right into the Huntress of Bast, and that should be a kill for Jungle Scrub. Great ultimate straight through the wall, hits the snipe, lands himself a kill. XChell not going to be able to get away either. Gets slowed inside of the Ymir ult, and that is going to spell doom. We are now 2-2. Straight even game, looking at about 100 gold difference. Rat in a little bit of danger. No mana, taking quite a bit of damage. Not gonna have any real follow up. Cuckoo and Ymir aren't known for their abilities to chase you down. That's for sure.
No, they're not. They're really there for the they're known for getting in and kind of trapping people into the places where they want them at.
Yeah, certainly a lot more for that lockdown. A little bit of burst damage, but certainly not their chase ability. A little bit of a boxing match here. Chernobog taking just a little bit of the worst end of it, and we do see again coming out on this op wash. Beads are forced, but he's going to be just fine. Bastet not looking to let him out, takes the tower shot. Opwash drops drops the crypts under the tower. Minions go ahead and secure the Ymir. Those archer shots add up. 11, 11, 11, 11. Boom. They take him down, and that is unfortunate. You send 3 people over, and in the end you lose one.
You do see a early Gold Fury pull getting pulled here. We know that they do have a vision on it of some sort, and they're kind of rotating over into this fight here.
Yeah, do have the vision. Ooh, they actually do manage to drop it in time to avoid that Spirit of the Nine Winds being able to steal. Rat still looking for blood on this Cherno. One ability will do it. Whose cooldowns are going to come up first? And it is Twig as he grabs his 3rd kill of the game, certainly making his presence known.
Yeah, he is quite making his presence known, and we do see that they did secure the Gold Fury on the red side here, so they'll be able to use that a little bit of a gold lead, about 900, 500 gold ahead now. So they'll be able to kind of try to transition that into a little bit later.
Yeah, definitely, a little bit of a gold lead, not as much as you might like. I mean, just an incredibly even back and forth game. Somebody gets a 500 gold lead, then we trade the gold lead. definitely,
Yeah,
definitely an even match. Other than that, as these builds start to come together, anything you see?
Well, not really. The Appalachia is going for the standard mage solo build that we've been seeing pretty much all season now, and both of the ADCs opted for their devos, but the Chernobog is going into an early crit item, and I'm curious which one he's going to go into, because that could call for an early spectral on the enemy team, depending on how well that crit's being used.
Yeah, definitely been seeing a lot of that Demon Blade's second item. Cuckoo taking some punishment from this rat, looks to engage under their tower, and Rat is going to back his team up. Shell getting out of there with a couple hundred health, a little bit thanks to the rat coming in and getting quite a bit of damage onto the Cuckoo. And yeah, early Spectral, I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. It's always a hard one, you know? Am I going to be around the ADC enough to get value out of this? That's the real question. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a gank. Twig yet again making sure they know that he is here. Good ult comes out of the Mulan, able to get away from the stun. Crypts are emptied. However, it is not going to be enough. Does knock down the Bastion, but not going to knock down the health bar of Diddy.
Piercing shot.
And yeah, I mean, we were looking at like a 500 gold lead. What was that, like a minute ago? And then now we're like at 100, 200. So just a really close game. No team able to really get their footing coming into this, beacon fight. Looks like it's going to be relatively uncontested. Not gonna have to worry about it too much. Death Dealer is able to just go ahead and grab that for themselves. No issue, no contest. Not able to get there in time to really worry about it. Turnout getting a little bit out pressured by this Apollo. Not something you'd really expect to see. Cherno really that S tier hunter, top of the bands, top of the picks. So seeing the Apollo being able to work well into it, always good to see. Oracles do drop, able to secure those are the Odin's head hunters, and they're just looking to keep their farm up, just making sure they're grabbing as much neutral farm as they can, keeping all the XP and gold off the map as much as they can. So definitely good farming coming out from both of these teams.
Yeah, and we're really in that stage of the game where we're in between like the middle to mid game. We're looking for that farm to see who's going to be able to get ahead and get the extra pressure in their lanes that they're looking for. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to not really see any team fights going on. Kind of everybody sitting around with doing their own thing.
Pressure indeed as they force the Cherno out of that left lane, giving them a good opportunity to look at this Gold Fury, this Primal in fact. However, Cuckoo is able to realize it. Spirit of the Nine Winds comes through and it is able to go ahead and steal that out. Relics forced from Tectonics. Twig probably a little upset, both Relics really. He gets out. Not able to chase under that tower, though. The teammates are there to give some backup, and 14 minutes in, those towers do not feel good.
Time for a power shot.
No, they don't. They're still doing a lot of damage early. Not a lot of people really have their good defense on for them to be prepared to do this quite yet.
Emoji in a tough spot, gets hit by the combo of Ymir ult and the Huntress of Bast from Bastet, leads them to the gray screen, and it's tough being a support. If enemies are able to coordinate those ults. It's tough. But we do finally start to see a little bit of a lead come out off the back of Tectonics getting that Gold Fury steal. We're looking at about 1,000, 1,200. So still a very close game, but finally starting to get a little bit of separation. Who might not be able to find some separation is this Ymir. Gets pretty low, but not quite able to get it out. Twig, unfortunately, not able to grab either of those low health bars. But, I mean, forcing somebody to back is just as good as killing them half the time. You know, they're still going to miss out on a little bit of farm. Maybe you know, you push them out, you look for a Pyromancer, so can't
Yeah,
feel too bad about not getting a kill.
when people are ending up backing, it's a wonderful time to also look for engage to try to leech some of the farm away from the enemy team to try to push your lead further.
Yeah. Oh, look, your green buff's up. Let me go knock that out. Oh, there's the oracles are up. Let me go take those. Pyromancer, sure. Definitely those teams that are able to take advantage of not even their kills, but you know, their damage. Oh, I forced you to bag? Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna look for something else.
Yeah, and the neutral farm is really something that shouldn't be forgotten about or even scoffed at because of it's only one on whichever side that you have it. You can't get a second one, so it's kind of free gold that the other team can't have the possibility of getting.
Yeah, certainly neutral farm certainly allows you to grab those leads. What else can grab you a lead is the amount of pressure we have in this mid lane coming from the Death Dealers. They already have that tower down. Hold that thought though, as Bastet looks to get chased down by this rat. Chernobog hits the backup, and that is unfortunately Rat biting off a little bit more than he can chew with that Chernobog backing him up. On the other side of the map, we do see Cuckoo starting up this Pyromancer. Team is coming to give him a hand with tanking that, and that is a great play. You say, oh, they're in left lane? That's cool. We had an objective on the right side of the map.
Yeah, and that's really where that neutral farm is going to start coming into play because these neutral objectives, the Gold Fury, the Fire Giant, and the Pyromancer, aren't a small amount of gold. They've increased that gold that they had from around 1,000 in just a few minutes up to almost 5,000 now, and that's really going to start to show in these team fights as they're going to start happening soon.
Yeah, I want to say 5 minutes ago, right at about the 12-minute mark, we saw a 12 gold difference, and now we're looking at about 5,000. Snips with a great close solo kill. Unfortunately, Jungle Scrub not going to be in time to stop that back. Probably punching air right now, saying, "Really, really, he gets out."
And this kind of goes back to with the builds that we were talking about earlier. You see, the Apollo opted for the Executioner and Demon Blade, whereas the Chernobog opted for the Demon Blade into Aussie. With that Executioner and the extra pen that he got from it, he was able to really do a lot of damage to the Chernobog and end up winning that fight by a close margin, even while being 2 levels down at the time.
Yeah, and honestly, that comes off the back of Frank not backing. He didn't have his Aussie finished. He just had the Demon Blade and the tier 2, so Snips realized, hey, I have an item advantage. I'm gonna go ahead and push that. I'm gonna take this fight even if I am a little bit behind, and just great awareness from him. On the other side of the map, looks like Mulan might be in a little bit of danger looking to invade out that blue. Never mind going to box out the rat, not even worried about that op wash damage. I'm a solo laner. I can do what I want.
Aim. Fire. Watch me blade dance.
And yeah, this Mulan with that soul leader, with the healing from her too, having a much better time than she was in that early game, not being able to clear, so definitely able to match the op wash in this lane. Other than that, as these builds start to develop, what are we liking, what aren't we liking?
Well, there's a lot really still going on with the builds. We see both of the mages kind of opting for the traditional mage build. Cuckoo did end up getting a divine, whereas Ishel got the Spear of Desolation. So Cuckoo's going to be able to really get the anti-heal packed onto that team with the passive divine using the chain lightning, spreading it around the enemy team.
Yeah, definitely need the anti-heal into the Umoja, into the Ixchel, just so much healing to go around in those fights. Snips yet again, very close solo kill onto Frank. Gets out just barely with his life. Maybe I'm speaking too soon though. Great wall, just not quite fast enough. Bastet still looking for action. Huntress of Bats to use, and that is going to be a kill for Jungle Scrub. Avenges his ADC, but pays for it dearly, taken down by Lunar Bee. And honestly, I don't know how great of a trade that was. I mean, that's a level 19 Bastet, you know? Really, really big Bastet. It's hard to say. Either way.
Time for a power shot.
Yeah, and that was Bastet's first death. She looks like she was on a killing spree at that point, so that's going to be a lot of gold that's going to go over to Lunar with that got the shutdown from that.
Yeah, 4 kill streak ever since they added that new bounty system. An extra 60% gold from the kill certainly fills the wallet up on that one. Probably gonna see an item finished and then probably another one after with how long she's been out. Other than that though, both teams playing well. Death Dealer's playing the map just a little bit better, you know, they've been on those objectives. You know, they got the Pyromancer, they stole the Primal Fury, so definitely seeing them take good fights around those objectives.
And we see another fight coming out in the duo lane, just a little bit of a scuffle. Chernobog used his 1-2 combo and then had to dash out immediately, trying to respect the damage that Apollo does bring.
Yeah, respecting the damage is well and good. Solo laners not respecting the 1v1, that's something you don't see too often. Generally, they're the ones that are looking for those 1v1s. Going to be making a little bit of a difference. Dash caught from the Ratatosker, going to force him to ult away to safety. And that is a lot of pressure for the Death Dealers team to quite possibly look at this this Gold Fury, this Oni Fury. Frank knocks down the first member. Jolly Green going to fall on the Bastet. Tectonics knocks down another, taking out his counterpart Lunar B, and that should give them a good chance to go at this Gold Fury, especially with the Opwash using the Crypts to zone out.
Yeah, the only thing I'm really worried about for this Oni is that we did see Spare the Nine Winds come out, so their secure would be a little bit questionable, but they do end up securing that, so they can kind of look at the re-engage off of this with them walking back up.
Yeah, looks like not going to be able to get too much off the back of that. Probably grab themselves a beacon and just call that a day. Want to say that is, at this point, this might be their third beacon, so I want to say they've gotten all 3. And that will have the Titans marching down in the solo lane pretty soon as they go ahead and go straight for this Pyromancer. Looks like this should go down no problem. And unfortunately, Odin's Headhunters just aren't quite grouped up enough to punish those lower health bars. As we get a little bit closer to this endgame, what do you think that Odin Headhunters need to swap up to bring this game a little bit closer?
Well, their team fights really need they're kind of walking in to the enemy team and not really team fighting grouped up. The Britannisker Twigs kind of diving on to some of the backline, but without the backup from the Chef Baba, he's going to have a really hard time trying to get kills in the backline over here. So a little bit more communication from them, possibly coordination, I mean, to get into the backline and try to secure those kills would really be able to help them turn around.
Yeah, I could definitely see that getting a little bit further away from what I like to call funneling, you know, where all right, I'm gonna 1v5. then I'm gonna die and you're gonna 1v5 and so on and so forth. I think that they have a really strong team comp to be able to team fight. Playing around those Empty the Crypts and Rivish Rebukes could just give them a whole lot of work, and then have the heals coming out from the Ixchel. You have the ADC and the jungle able to kind of dive to finish out those kills. So I think if they're just a little bit more cohesive in their fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the Titans starting to clash, Death Dealers were able to get to the Titans faster, so they are going to have that pressure over in solo lane. Looks like they're looking for a fight here with
Yeah,
the
looking
Titan
for a
pushing up
fight
with
they
them.
are. Spirit of the Nine Winds used. Lunar B the first to fall, and this is certainly not looking too good for the Headhunters. Titan's still pretty healthy, starting to walk in. Hopwash looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. Chef Apollo falls. Apollo is here to help the squad, but he's forced on the retreat as this Mulan puts in so much damage, and honestly, this could be a Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it is likely going to be a Phoenix. Bastet in the backline on that Apollo. She might be able to get the kill here. But that's why you can't really let the Titan not really do anything, because the Titan brings so much pressure into these fights, transitioning over into the lanes and kind of bringing a further lead to them.
Yeah, and as they march that Titan into the throne room, they're able to really push that lead, looking at about 10,000 now, and realistically, the end of the game could be soon if they play it right. What steps do they need to take to close this game out?
Well, absolutely. The first thing that they would really need to do is kind of back and spend the gold that they got from the huge team fight and pushing down the right lane. They got a power and a Phoenix. That's not a little bit of gold. That's quite a lot of gold. It's about 2,100 for round eve every player, and kind of warding up the fire giant pit to set up for the next team fight, which is inevitably going to be happening there as we're looking at EFG in around 3 minutes.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we see the Headhunters starting to pull it. Not going to be losing too much health due to that Yemoja sustain, but right now looks a little bit rough. Lunar B already forced to about a quarter health. Gets hit by the pull, and ult is forced. Mulan surging forward, losing a ton of health. 9 wins, hits the Yemoja, and this is a crazy start to the team fight. Mulan incredibly low, first to fall, immediately knocked back. And this is already a 2 for 2 in a hectic team fight.
Yeah, it really is. There were a lot of ults that were really pushed out in that team fight, and I really wouldn't be surprised if the Death Dealers tried to pull the Fire Giant here with Lunar not being there, and we saw Twig used through the Cosmos earlier on that rat, so their secure and steal potential on this Fire Giant is going to be a lot lower than they would want it to be here.
Yeah, not having tanks certainly going to do a little bit of damage. They are able to secure it. Opwash just not quite in time to knock that steal out, and that is a really bad position to be in if you are the Headhunters. Do you think that they can afford to continue to fight outside their base, or do they need to kind of turtle up and use their really good defensive ults?
They really need to turtle up and kind of start using their ults defensively instead of trying to be more proactive with it, getting wards out, looking for the farm inside of your jungle. Most of the Death Dealers are already level 20, and we see this Ymir at level 18, whereas Jolly Green on the Yemoja is still level 16. So it's a big deficit that we're seeing here, and these starters starting to get upgraded. The gold deficit's really kind of spiraling out of control here.
Yeah, we do see that the Headhunters go ahead and grab themselves a Gold Fury. Might only cost them the Yemoja, but that amount of farm might just be worth it. Riptide's certainly getting them pretty far out. Unfortunate Mulan pull going to take them to the gray screen. Frank credited for the kill. And it looks like we're going to start pushing down this left side of the map. They do have FG for another 2.5 minutes. Spirit of the Nine Winds comes out, unfortunately not able to connect. Still some low health bars on the mid laner and the solo laner.
And we do see great end from Ishel to come out a little bit defensively to try to heal the Apollo back up and push the Mulan a little bit further away to try to keep them alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, pushing away as well is those are those crypts coming out from the op wash. The crypts are empty, so are your health bars, so is your push. You're done. You got your you got your tower. Just leave us alone for a minute. It looks like we're gonna go ahead and scoot on over to this last tower.
Yeah, and with this tower, we see the headhunters kind of having to defend that right Phoenix, which may end up going down anyway. But that's really kind of where they want to be. They don't really want to be pushing out at all. They want to make sure that Phoenix stays up for as long as possible.
Yeah, certainly. We do see a couple members, kind of hanging around this right side of the map. Chernobog and Bastet hoping probably to find Lunar be at that half health, looking to push out that last fire wave, but not going to get too greedy pushing those out. Has Jolly Green step out in front, and that's going to be about the end of the push. Only another minute left on their fire giant, but hard to push for another bird.
Yeah, with all of the neutral objectives down, this is where we really kind of want to see either Death Dealers starting to push the lead that they have and try to get a little bit more pressure on the Phoenix. The minion waves are already pushed up quite far, so them being able to kind of walk in and take this Phoenix right now isn't too far fetched with the deficit that we have going on.
Yeah, not too far fetched, but Yumhoja with a great River's Rebuke going to pick out two members. No, not quite. Frank able to just barely get out with no health left on the bar. Lands and unfortunately takes an auto from the Apollo, and that is a great fight coming out of the Headhunters, grabbing themselves 3 kills just a minute before this EFG spawns.
Yeah, and they're really trying to. Looks like they're really trying to chase the Death Dealers out here because this play that they have, they're still 5 strong, and they're close to getting a deicide here, and them pushing out this Phoenix and looking for the neutral objectives that are spawning quite soon is probably a really good play, and it really shows that how these games can really go either way on the flip of a coin.
Yeah, definitely. They finally got a good opportunity to combo those ults out, and they absolutely decimated the team fight. The coordination that we've certainly been looking to see. Going to knock themselves down 2 towers, and we have just a little bit of staggering on those respawns as well. Ymir falling about 20 seconds after, so they're going to be without for this fire giant spawn. As we're starting to see these last items built, how are we feeling about the builds? Everything's still looking pretty standard?
For the most part, yeah, I'd say everything's still looking pretty standard. We do see the Eastel alt opting for the alternate timeline instead of the Pendulum of the Aegis alternate timeline with the buff that it recently got. It's really seeing a lot more usage here now in the games.
Yeah, certainly the defensive stats from that certainly come in handy. Another item I was really looking at was the winged blade on the Mulan. I think that's a really smart, item choice that you don't really think about,
Yeah, especially with all of the slows that we have on the side of the Death Dealers. I'm sorry, on the side of the Headhunters, we have Upwatch, which has a slow. If I'm not mistaken, the E-Shell on Lunar has a slow, and then Yamoja's Bouncing Bubble also has slows on it. So it's really something that'll let the Mulan get into the team fights and really stay where she wants to be and not get pushed out or slowed so everybody gets away from her.
Yeah, definitely. Slow immunity for the whole squad certainly can't be understated. As this team fight breaks out, Apollo already extremely low. Lunar on this Ixchel very low as well. The Death Dealers are looking really strong right now. They have those Oni waves starting to push up. They have an Oni fire wave pushing on that right side. Ixchel unfortunately hit by an absolute snipe with that Huntress of Bast. Frank going to take that kill away from his jungler, and Mulan is in there. Not going to feel too good after dying though. Opwash incredibly low, going to be the next one falling. 9 wins not quite able to land. However, with these Oni waves, they are still able to push. Great River's Rebuke traps everybody inside of the bird. Will it be enough? It will. Swig is able to grab Tectonics off the back of it, and this bird is still healthy. Looks like might be able to grab that left one. Do have that Oni wave. Not feeling it. Ymir's like, yeah, I'm like a third health. I'm not risking it. They have the bomb, but not necessarily willing to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, absolutely not. With Fire Giant actually being on the field now, they want to play a lot safer, really. Because with this being the EFG, that could really close out the game for either team at this point. So playing it safe and not trying to go for that Phoenix when you see the enemy team there is a really smart decision on their part.
Yeah, definitely. 35, 40 minutes into the game, you stagger your respawns. All of a sudden, you're fighting, 2v5, 3v5 at the EFG, and you say, "I thought we were winning. What do you mean there? Our Titan's dead. What do you mean?"
Exactly, and it'll really come out of nowhere if they're not putting wards out and making sure that they have this Fire Giant pit really a lot of vision and secured on that vision for them, because they could go really quickly with the Lunar's all on Ishel the Great End scaling up the more she hits an allied god or an enemy god with it, and then empty the crypts from the Opwatch is really going to be able to zone the enemy out if they end up looking for this Fire Giant. The Death Dealers aren't here to contest for it.
Yeah, good start from the Death Dealers, grabbing the bubble off of the Emoja already. That's going to be down for 50 seconds as we start into this EFG fight. And this is an important one, We're looking at about an 8k gold lead, but 8k is nothing this late into the game. That is
Yes,
that is a couple power potions at best.
it really is. Everybody's already pretty much at full build, and you see all the starters have been upgraded already. So we're really in that part where it comes down to which team is going to have a better team fight um, on whichever side that they're on to really close out the game with it.
Yeah, definitely getting into the territory of winning one good team fight. You knock down three, you don't lose any, and all of a sudden you're just in the throne room ending. So definitely both teams have to be careful here. Red team has a little bit of an advantage coming into a more sustained fight with the Emoja healing, so going to have to make sure they don't spend too much time trying to get poke when it can just be healed up. Mulan singled out with the Rivers, going to take a little bit of damage. Phantom Shell is forced, not looking to lose their solo this early into the fight. And that's two ultimates down already. The Rivers as well as through the Cosmos on the Ratatosker. Emoja in a little bit of trouble here. So is the Mulan. Incredible Spirit of the Nine Winds comes through, hits the Emoja, and that is the first death for this fight. Not for naught, though, as we see Mulan also fall. Lunar Bee incredibly low. Tectonic's going to grab that one. Bastet incredibly low. Will she fall? Yes. Snips is able to chase out the Bastet. And not only that, they are surging forward. That is 3 for 2 at present. Will they be able to go further? And it looks like we will see a pause. Frank going to DC sometime in that fight, and we will be back shortly. And back into the action we go. The Headhunters surging forward, looking for their last couple of kills here. Kukulkan attempts to get out, not quite in time, and that is a great fight for the Headhunters here. Looks like they should be able to go ahead and take this EFG for themselves off the back of it. Chernobog, no ult on the other side of the map, just trying to get some farm, and this is what they've been needing. They've been on that back foot for a little bit. They've been a little bit down in the gold, but this will give them the opportunity to go ahead and get themselves not only even, but ahead.
Yeah, and they are able to look like they secured that without the recruits, but Mulan did
Mulan
end up
TP's
showing
in,
up.
looking to attempt to steal, not going to get it, and if Mulan falls here, it could certainly be tough for them to really get their footing back. Missing their soul winner for another 70 seconds, certainly going to hurt their chances of defending their birds.
Yeah, it really is, and it looks like they were able to wait long enough for Jolly on this emoji to get the EFG on her as well. So the only person on the Headhunters team.
Yeah, able to get it on 4 out of 5 members. Lunar unfortunately taking too much time to respawn. Going to be missing out on that. A little bit of extra healing damage. But nonetheless, going to be able to push down into here. Looks like they're going to go ahead, move themselves over to that left lane, and it looks like we might be able to see a good 4-on-5 siege. Jelly Green looking a little worse for wear. Spirit of the Nine Winds comes out. Great damage onto the Ratatosker. Hits him for about 1100, 1200. The heroism shield makes it seem like he doesn't, lose half of his health bar, but he did. Looks like we're not going to get overzealous with it. Not going to risk too much on that siege as they go ahead and grab themselves a Primal Fury. They just got a bunch of gold. They got fire. They knock down 2 towers. They get gold. It's going to give them a chance to go ahead and grab some items, some potions, maybe even upgrade those relics all the way. So that's what we like to see. Looks like we're seeing full builds everywhere. A couple people yet to upgrade those relics. But, everybody's got their items, even their glyphs, so going to be some really good fights coming up. Other than that, we finally do see Ixchel get that alternate timeline back up. That incredibly long 5-minute timer, 300 seconds. Finally back up, ready to at least extend the lifespan. Other than that, we do see a 4-1 split coming out. Moja using that Riptide to get them to that tower a little bit faster. Interesting approach, though, having the op wash, move over to that right lane, but going to go ahead and use that upgraded TP, get himself over to that left for a good 5-on-5 while those minions start to push into that right side. There it is, bomb dropped, going to get that Phoenix very low. Incredible Spirit of the Nine Winds comes out, knocks down so many health bars, barely hanging on. Lunar Bee is the first to fall on the Headhunters. They are being chased out, but it is not enough. They grab 2. Lunar's able to survive with the help of the alternate timeline, and this is not a great place to be in if you are a Death Dealer's fan.
Yeah, having 5 strong pushing this left side bird is with the EFG on 4 of them is going to be really difficult to deal with when Tectonics and Diddy have already been taken out.
Yeah, great damage comes out from Jungle Scrub on this Bastet. Not going to be enough. Lunar Bee knocks down Beastly. They knock down the bird, and it is a 2v5. They do still have the healing coming out from Ixchel, from Yamoja. They no longer have the EFG, though, so it's going to be a little bit tougher for them to knock down this mid bird.
Aquatch does end up using Empty the Crypt to try to zone them out to try to confirm this bird, and it looks like Jungle Scrub jumps in and kind of gets turned on and immediately dies.
Ooh, that is a really delayed PSI. We do see a couple starting to spawn, but this is a really scary position to be in. There's 2 up for now, and the next person spawning isn't for 30 seconds. Heroism, unfortunately, saving the Apollo's life, gets hit by the 9 Winds, and it just does not matter. Looks like they are going to take the patient route. They have 2 birds down. They have gold to spend. Maybe grab a couple 3,000 pots, grab their EFG, and at the very least, Death Dealers are going to have time to unstagger their respawn timers.
Yeah, they will if the Headhunters kind of backs here and goes spends their gold and comes right back up to Fire Giant, they should be able to get it uncontested because we did see Techie Spear the 9 wins, and that looks like it's still down for around another 20 seconds.
Yeah, coming up shortly though, and that's definitely going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in what the Headhunters want to do. Definitely the best secure on the map. just barely beats out the 1200 damage from the Pyromancer bombs. And we see Snips already getting up into the air, doing a little bit of reconnaissance, but so many minions pouring into the base, forcing all of the damage dealers to really just kind of back up. Moana's the only one able to contest, looks for it, not able to get it in the ult, and pays for it with their life, and that is 70 seconds without a solo laner. This is a little bit scary. However, Tectonics hits a massive Spirit of the Nine Winds, rips through, hits 3 people, claims 1 life. However, it is his time to fall. Gets absolutely deleted, even using both of his relics. Ratatoskr chasing down this Bastet. Ymir left alone in the base. Jungle Scrub falls, and I don't think Ymir could handle the minions. Nevertheless, the 4 members of the Headhunters pushing into this base, they should be able to go right to this Titan and end, no matter what Beastly says. Throwing up the wall to buy a couple seconds, but it's just not going to be enough as Odin Headhunters secure game number 1. That was a really good back and forth game. I'm so glad that the Headhunters were able to grab their footing towards, that 25-30 minute mark and able to really just come back. Other than that, anything you think the Death Dealers really need to change up for game number 2?
The only thing that they really probably would want to change up for game 2 is kind of pushing the lead that they had early in the game to kind of transition it later into the game so they can keep kind of snowballing into the Fire Giants and kind of winning these team fights without having many issues from them.
Yeah, definitely being able to use their lead just a little bit more. I mean, they were doing great until they just had that one bad siege. But hopefully they're able to adjust for a good game number 2. We will be back in just a couple minutes.
Welcome on back. Game number 2, Death Dealers versus Odin's Headhunters. Tapping on the ropes over here saying, put me in, coach. You got me now, Zach Vexel over here on the desk. We're still with Ruler of Men, though. We're going to switch things up a bit. And, a very exciting game number 1 that we just watched, okay? Odin's Headhunters really... It was even for quite a period of time,
Yeah, I mean, we saw about 20 minutes, about 1,000 gold lead. Get to about 30 minutes or so. They're down a couple thousand, and then they take a couple good fights. Bing, bang, boom. They're taking the EFG, they're taking the base, and they're taking the game.
Now, I do see a couple adaptations coming in here during these ban phases. We see the Upwash and the Ratatasker get taken away. Those made it through in game number 1. Do we feel like they did enough to actually warrant some of these ban slots?
Honestly, I mean, Twig had a really good early game. I want to say he was 3-0, 4-0 in that, first 5-6 minutes. So the Rat certainly looked really good in the early game. Upwash was certainly putting it out late game, but honestly, if I was to ban anyone from that last game, it probably would have been that Emoja. The Emoja was the key to them winning those fights.
We saw some really good Yemoja ults get coming through. That Rivers Review was actually putting up some work. So, a couple bands rounding out, obviously the Athena. Okay, over on the order side with the Death Healers, Maman Brigitte, the Raijin, Poseidon, all very strong mages who can just play multiple roles, doing very phenomenal. And the Ganesha gets locked in over on the side of the Death Dealers in the first pick. Honestly, next to the Athena, this is probably the best support that we see. He can sit kind of in the midline, do a little bit of engage with his pillars, silence, defend against their enemy team engage. You're not coming in. I'm going to silence you. I'm going to grab you. A ton of CC coming out from that god. And then we see the Kukul Khan getting locked in yet again over on the side of the Death Dealers, followed up with a Chernobog making it through.
Yeah, swapping the backline, taking that away from Frank and Tectonics. Said, you know what, your backline, it went pretty well. We'll take it.
Well, it felt like really that Apollo in game number 1 was kind of picked in response a little bit to this Chernobog. If you're going to global ult, fly across the map, I'm going to do the exact same. And we did see a couple of those rotations happen. A little bit closer to the end game, though. Hercules getting locked in over on the side of the Death Dealers. Kind of a very, I want to shove it down your throat pick over in the solo lane. Assuming it goes over there, hopefully,
Yeah, I mean, with Ganesha locked in, not too likely to see a Herc support. I mean, I've played Ganesha solo before. I'm not above it.
Okay, but what about jungle, man? Or mid? We've seen the Erlang support, Erlang mids getting picked up over in the SPL.
Well, yeah, if you can play in the SPL, you can kind of pick whatever you want. It just works.
Oh, come on, it's a game. You can pick whatever you want at any level. Izanami getting locked in on the side of the Death Healers, really taking this Ganesha pick from a more passive duo lane to a we're going to clear the wave, we're going to apply some pressure, because that's really what this god does. She clears the wave and starts to shove it down your throat. Hercules being an aggressive solo, it looks like the Odin's Headhunters are going to respond with the Sun Wukong, a solo laner who can kind of just sit back, not worry about getting ganked too much, not worry about taking too bad of fights, getting up in that somersault cloud and just getting away if he needs to.
Yeah, definitely. That Herc pick certainly limits the choices. You're not really gonna play too many of those mages into him, you know. Morgan Le Fay can certainly have a bad time just getting hit by the pluck into push. So two warriors, not too unorthodox there.
Thoth getting removed over on the side of the Odin's Headhunters, a good clearing mage, a lot of poke potential and a lot of scalability in the late game. And the Thor getting removed on the side of the Death Dealers, one of the bands that we generally expect to see coming through. You know, you got that semi-global ultimate, and along with the Ratatasker, those two gods kind of just go hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely see those two a lot more often than we see that Thanatos. And I mean, the Thanatos still usable, just doesn't have quite as much to offer the team with their kit. You know, has the silence, has the execute, but you have the massive stun from Rat. You have the wall, so a little
Well,
less utility.
if Twig does opt for that Thanatos pick, I feel like it can do a lot of similar to, well, never mind
Never
about that.
mind.
Thanatos getting absolutely removed. I don't blame them. With how that Ratatasker got played in game number 1, if you're picking this early style god and you're building him with 30% CDR early with the Jotuns, with the Hydras, you know, you want to get your ultimates off, and it looked like that's exactly what Twig was doing on this Ratatasker. With the Thanatos, I feel that just scales it up exponentially with the amount of early pressure he has because of his percentage health damage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we've also seen Twig on that Thanatos maybe a little bit earlier in the season, but it's certainly a pick that I've seen him on in other leagues as well. So definitely one of those strong picks that can absolutely snowball early, like he was doing with the Rat. So taking that away, not gonna have to deal with an execute, not gonna have to deal with oh, my ability does 400 damage plus 10% of your current health. So certainly a good ban there.
Wheeler's getting removed as the last pick of the, or last ban of the Odin's Headhunters team. Another god who's doing phenomenal in terms of the scaling department, and a Geb gets locked in as our first pick here in the second phase for Odin's Headhunters. Backline, safety, check. Odin's Headhunters have it. They have the Sun Wukong, they have the Geb. Kukulkan's going to sit in the back and have a field day. Nobody's going to get on top of him if the Headhunters play this correctly.
Yeah, definitely a lot of safety built for that back line. Sun Wukong able to zone really far forward. Geb able to give the Kukulkan the safety they want without having their mobility.
Scylla getting locked in for the Death Dealers. This is another one who I see as, you know, very hyper scaling in that department. I kind of really do enjoy the Death Dealers team comp so far. I want to see what this last pick is before I'm going to say so far, first off, before we see that possible jungle, possible solo pick coming out. But you have the scaling from your Scylla, you know, late game mage, whose passive is entirely built around scaling. Now you have a scaling jungler built into on top of it. Early pressure in your solo lane, early pressure in your duo lane. They can really take control of the side lanes of the map and then collapse that on their mid with this Scylla, allowing the Scylla to just kind of exist until the late game. And then boom, you have a hyper carry jungler. You have a very bursty, explosive late game mid laner, and your side lanes just kept you going throughout the game so that you didn't lose 2/3 of the map.
Yeah, just like you were saying, they have a really good team comp for being able to play the game at any point in time. They have those hyperscalers for the late game. You know, Bakasura walks up to you late game, throws up at your feet, and while you're cleaning it up, you're just deleted. Same with a good I'm a monster coming out from a Ganesha knockup late game could absolutely do 2200 damage, and they have good pairings for the early game. You know, the Izanami, the Hercules, those really good early characters. I love the diversity they have with their pickups.
Not only that, but I see good pick potential over on the side of the Death Dealers. You know, I want to lock somebody in with the Pillars of Ganesh, okay? I want to maybe throw my Bakasura ult over the top of it so nobody's dashing out, nobody's getting away, or I'm just going to knock up, pull somebody in with the Hercules combination. That way, Tail as old as time. See, Scylla abilities coming over top. There's so much pick potential over here, over on the side of the Death Dealers. The Odin's Headhunters team comp, you know, I thought it was looking a little bit more towards the teamfight avenue with this Gab and Kukulkan, but not as much synergy as I do see with the Death Dealer side. And because then they do lock in the Tsukiyomi in your last slot. I'm a little worried about this pick. I'm going to say that now. I want to see Twig and see what he can do with it. But if your backline support isn't getting in there and playing up with this Sun Wukong, because your Sun Wukong's going to get in there. That's going to happen. But then he's going to get up and get out of there. But that happens as Tsukiyomi's getting in there. You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, with good follow-up from the Geb, though, Tsukiyomi gets the ult off, he does a ton of damage, and if Geb's able to give him a shield just to get him out of there, could certainly see some great value coming out of there, but I do have to agree that I like this Death Dealer's team comp just a little bit more. I think that it's just a hair more cohesive in what they want to do with their fights.
Definitely a little bit more cohesive. I think where we need to see the headhunters take, man. So you're matching the scaling in mid. You're kind of seeding the amount of pressure over on your solo lane side, picking the Sun Wukong, and then you have the Hercules on the opposite end. Dual lane, okay, you have the Geb. Sure, you have the Chernobog, but Chernobog sees more success when he's rotating out and applying a pressure across the map. If I'm Odin's Headhunters, where should I be applying this pressure? Where should I be rotating out as this Chernobog, and where are we invading?
I mean, honestly, I think they could see a lot of success either through that mid lane. Scylla has a decent amount of safety with the Sentinel, but if you're able to get past that, you could certainly see some success. Or even onto this Hercules. A little bit of a daunting task, with his ability to just pull you under the tower and have the tower do all of the work for him, but could certainly see some ganks over there. And now that I look at it, I'm liking the Tsukiyomi pick just a little bit more. It does go really well into that Bakasura, and it is knockup immune now, thanks to the recent buff to him. Not going to be, pulled by that Hercules too if he's able to get that off in time.
I've been preaching it for a while. Tsukiyomi needed that back, okay? Playing Tsukiyomi on release, I loved the fact that that ability was knockup immune, and the entire time that they removed it, it felt like it was wrong. It felt like it was missing something. The ability just felt a little empty. Now that it's back on there, having that knockup immunity, I'm super excited. I'm excited to see what this god can do, and I'm really looking forward to how well Twig can definitely apply the kind of pressure that we're seeing. And apply the kind of pressure we're going to find out, because we're going to move on into game number 1 here of Death Dealers versus Odin's Headhunters and see where these picks are lining up and see what happens.
Yeah, coming into this, everything going about where you would expect. Not seeing anything too crazy with the builds. Tsukiyomi going for that Bombas. I mean, Spear is a great option, but Hammer on Tsukiyomi, I remember the good old days. Release Tsukiyomi, Bumba's Hammer, you just throw abilities constantly. Nobody can even think about getting away from you.
You get the passive from the Hammer. You get passive from the Hydras on all your ranged auto attacks and following up your abilities. It fits his kit well. And I think a lot of junglers and a lot of, well, I don't want to just specify this to junglers, a lot of just players default to these kind of cookie cutter builds. When you find a build that tailors well to a certain... Oh yeah, when you find a build that tailors well to a certain character, you got to use that. You got to play to that style, because when you do, that really allows that god specifically to shine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. The more unorthodox picks with the unorthodox builds certainly do see a lot of success. I mean, Bumba's Hammer, it's not good on a lot of gods. There's a handful of gods that I would pick it on. I would pick it on Tsukiyomi, Naja, and Loki. That's it. There's so few that you want. Oh yeah, no, you can absolutely just walk somebody down the entire lane with Naja. My 13,000 worshiper god. Geb, a little bit of trouble taking some good poke already. Ganesha taking a little bit, but not worried about it.
Not too worried. These duo lanes kind of just doing their thing in the early game, clearing the waves, poking each other a little bit, and it looks like that's kind of the standard going across the map here, as we see a little bit of the similars going over here in the mid lane. Stun coming out from the Tsukiyomi on this Bakasura, but he's going to be no worries at all. I mean, he's just going to eat minion, walk away, not a problem. Your poke doesn't really mean too much to me, unless he takes too much of it. Hercules about to do what Hercules do, and he unfortunately is a little bit off with that driving strike. That could have spelled danger for Chef Baba.
Yeah, definitely could have gotten him into that tower. Do see the mid lane going about how you would expect, There's so much clear that comes out of Tsukiyomi Kukulkan, where Scylla struggles early game in Bakasura. He doesn't really have clear until he has that Golden Blade.
I think that's where Odin Hunters, like you were saying before, need to be looking towards. You have hyper clear with the Kukulkan, the Tsukiyomi, rotate in a Chernobog, and you could be getting picks in this mid lane all day.
Yeah, I mean, we already see the low health bar coming out on the Scylla. Definitely not feeling too good, and I mean, a little bit more damage could send Tectonics back to the fountain, and that certainly would hurt this early game.
You're not getting those early levels. You're not getting to level 5. You can't get your ultimate. This Kukulkan gets a Spirit of the Nine Winds online, and what's going to happen is you're going to get stunned out by a Tsukiyomi. And then what? Goodbye. Ultimate combo. Deleted. Off the map. You're not farming. I'm getting more levels. Wash, rinse, repeat. Bakasura over here, though, Jungle Scrub making a rotation over to the dual lane, looking for this shield buff on spawn. And it looks like your pal Gab Jolly Green wanting to try to secure it. Unable to do so, and that does go the way of the Death Dealers. Tsukiyomi kind of floating over on this side, though. We might see a little bit of a clash here on these left side mids, although Twig is kind of low on mana right here as we see Jungle Scrub jumping on in, and they're just going to kind of walk away from each other.
Yeah, certainly low on mana for about a quarter of a second there. All of a sudden, you know, he gets 3 kills on those jungle camps, gets his nice little burst from that Bumba's Spear, so not feeling too bad. Not Bumba's Spear, Bumba's Dagger. Excuse me.
Jungle Scrub got in there and got those minions, I'm sure it would have spelled a lot different story over there for Twig on that Tsukiyomi. Now you have no mana. Now this Bakasura is on top of you. You're taking increased damage if he lands that dash on top of you. Scylla getting away a little bit low, but there's that level 5 we were looking for. But yeah, could have spelled danger for Twig, though. Looks like spelling danger right now. Chef Baba trying to get away from this Hercules, seeing that early pressure that this god applies, and it's definitely taking its toll on this Sun Wukong.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we see Herc opting for a little less standard of a start now, going for what I'm assuming is a Glad Shield in that first spot instead of the general, you know, breastplate.
That thought right now is we see Frank dash again, maybe looking for a pick on Jolly Green, but Jolly Green's it's like Geb. You know, it doesn't matter early game, mid game, late game. He's a Geb. He's going to be happy exactly wherever he is. Soon going to be hitting level 5s over here in this dual lane.
Is a Geb, does have the shell up, not going to be in too much danger regardless of what the health bar looks like.
And Geb has shell at home, though.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need shell. Yeah, he's got shell at home, yeah.
One of
Definitely
them
plenty of health shields.
Cooldown.
Right. Plenty of health shields over in the dual lane for Odin's Headhunters. Next shield buff is spawning in. I think Odin's Headhunters might just end up seeing this one go their way unless Frank over here can steal it away with those cleaving auto attacks, but he might find... Oh, right on the edge is the Geb ultimate. No way, Frank, do you get out with this one alive? He's going to try to go for the rollout, but the Izanami ult does come through, silencing him out, but here comes Tsukiyomi. Twig making his way on in, popping that ultimate and getting on top of Frank right now, and Frank dashing in is going to end up falling. First blood goes the way of Odin's Headhunters. Snips ends up picking that one up.
Yeah, just great awareness, you know. A little bit low on the support, not quite able to get the kill. Bakasura looking to get a little bit of vengeance.
He's just out of range and gets a trade instead. Snips picks up 2 over here in the duo lane. It's going to be a little bit nice for him. He does have an ultimate to come right back into lane, and we know Frank just used his. You know, getting kind of greedy over here as we see I'm a Monster coming out over here on the purple, but there's nothing up over here. What's with the rotation over here from the Death Dealers that we're seeing?
Yeah, not too much going on, but really close to grabbing their second kill. Shell popped from the Geb to get the Tsukiyomi out of jail. Unfortunately, doesn't fall to the I'm a Monster. And I mean... Oh, you're good.
Ah, you're good. You're fine. I like the aggression coming out from the Death Dealers. Unfortunately, it feels like it's a little bit unwarranted. Okay, and Odin's Headhunters are punishing that. You know, we had a really good rotation coming in from Twig on the Tsukiyomi. He gets a pick over there. Boom. You know, but then Jungle Scrub's like, I want more. I want something for ourselves to take something back. And they try to go in even further into this tier 1 tower. Ends up dying as a result. When you're a scaling jungler, if you're going to allow a more earlier style, I mean, Tsukiyomi's on the kind of hybrid end of this. Early game, also scaling kind of pick. He has good early game damage, falls off a little bit in the mid, and scales up pretty nicely with his abilities. If you're going to allow this god to get all the way to that mid game, though, before, he's going to be scaling before you. And that's what's going to spell danger for this Bakasura pick.
Yeah, definitely Bakasura struggles with that disarm in the Tsukiyomi unless he is using his ult to go ahead and cleanse it. So, gonna have to be careful with this Tsukiyomi having just a little bit of a lead.
Little bit of a lead. He's able to get that Jotuns online, no problem. It's kind of a cheap item right here. Scylla dashing on in, getting the root on the Kukulkan. I'm a Monster comes through and forces the beads out from Lunar B. Tectonic's going to walk away from that one, a little bit upset, not able to secure the kill. And here comes Geb, kind of rolling on out and sending her back to her tower line, saying, get away from my mid laner. I don't want you up here.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
was so
that's
close.
two for two on Scylla ults, though. Snip's going to go ahead and grab that kill on Frank. Will he pay for it with his life? Does have the minion wave here. Ganesha looking for it. And
Oh.
Beastly
It's over. Ganesha got a kill. That's the game, everyone. We're going to game 3.
Ganesha's on the board, baby.
Ganesha's
Not,
on the
not a sight
board.
you see too often. That's for sure.
What a man. I feel like if Snips wasn't hitting Beastie McGrizzle on this Ganesha, he wouldn't have had to worry about the minion damage. Then dash comes back up, dash in the wall, dash away, no problem. Okay, cool. Now I'm on my side. Now you're eating my minion damage. Now it's a little bit different. But since he was inside the wave of the death dealers, it kind of changes the story when you're hitting the enemy team support at these early levels.
Yeah, those archers hurt. They absolutely pepper you with those 12 damage shots. Ding, 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 ding. Tsukiyomi going in on this Scylla, looking for something, not going to find too much.
Well, I found half her health bar in an Aegis. I think that's pretty good for 2 ultimates getting expended in this early game. A little unfortunate that they couldn't secure the kill. She's going to walk on away from there. And speaking of trying to walk away, Bakasura over here, Jungle Scrub, is trying to walk away, but is going to fall to Snips again. 4 kills for this Chernobog in 8 minutes. He's got all the Headhunters kills.
He has all of the kills. He has all 4 kills for the Headhunters and both deaths for them as well. He is a part of every kill on the map, baby.
I think Headhunters are really telling us what their win condition is and what they're trying to play through right now. If they're just going to give them all away to Snips on this Chernobog. Speaking of just poking out this Izanami and just applying so much pressure to her, he's showing that your early game, your wave clear potential doesn't matter to me anymore. I am online, I have my stacks, I have 4 kills, I have a level and a half on you. What is your response? Death Dealers, what is your response to this Chernobog before he gets too out of hand?
Yeah, definitely. This Cherno certainly looking to build his lead up. Oh, what's that? 25 stacks or so on those Devo gloves. Certainly strong, and I'm curious as to what he's leveling up. I want to say it's his 2.
Pretty decent damage right there. He's able to find Frank on the Izanami over here and gets the 5th kill for Odin's Headhunters. Snips is putting in some work over here on this Chernobog. Oh man, I feel like Frank just... Oh, where do you go? You know, I think Frank recognized that the Geb was coming over here, which is now picking up this Gold Fury. Headhunters recognizing that there's nobody nearby other than Jungle Scrub, and I don't think Jungle Scrub realizes. No, Death Dealers seem like they're none the wiser right now. It looks like they're going to recognize right now, and here comes Jungle Scrub coming on in, but that Gold Fury is almost already gone and is going to go the way of Odin's Headhunters. It looks like Bakasura bit off more than he could chew, and Twig is going to end up picking another kill for the Odin's Headhunters. Jungle Scrub getting sent back to the gray screen.
Yeah, this is a really good turnaround from game 1 where we saw a really even game into the 20 minutes. So right now, Odin Headhunters having a really good early game, not quite going to get that kill in mid, actually dying
That's
to the
what I
Archer
need.
tower combo.
There's my PvE death for the stream. Thanks for coming out. I got a Ganesha kill. I got a PvE death. I'm going to start playing Smite Bingo, okay? If anybody wants to join me, I'll get a card ready.
That is true. I think every time you've casted in the last week or two, there has been a PvE kill.
I require a PvE kill. If I don't get my PvE kill, I'm an angry boy. I'm not going to bed happy. You know, I'm going to wake up all restless, kind of like when somebody doesn't have their coffee. I need my PvE kill. Otherwise, I can't exist in life.
You might need a PvE kill, but Frank, I don't know if he needs a Toxic Blade. Certainly an interesting choice to be going for that second. I mean, Chernobog, yeah, sure, he has the Devos, but that's such a hard item to slot into an ADC build.
Well, hard item to slot early in general, you're not getting any power. And this is the point in the game where you need power. You get that early game power online. That's going to allow you to do things such as objectives. You know, we're at 11 minutes right now. 60 seconds, that first beacon is spawning. In another minute or so, that Pyromancer is going to be spawning. All these objectives are going to start coming up, and Frank's not going to have any power to deal any damage to them. That's going to be the problem. And as we can look by the gold graph and XP graph right now, things are already swinging the way of the Odin's Headhunters. I mean, granted, 6 kills, 3 of them on the jungler, 3 of them on your ADC. I'm not sure what Death Dealers kind of need over there other than, you know, get your power online, play a little bit smarter, try to get your farm, get some ward vision up, and just shut down this Chernobog.
Yeah, this Chernobog's certainly running the game right now, sitting well in the lead on that damage chart, nearly double anyone on the death dealers. And I mean, it makes sense. He's been putting out so much work. He's countered some ganks, so he's really just putting in the work over there. Glad to see that he had a good game. He got a couple of solo kills against Frank, and they put him on a little bit better of a character this game.
Man, if I'm Headhunters right now, I'm super happy that I'm finding Beastie McGrizzle over in solo lane as this first beacon ends up spawning, because they're going to get it for free without the grouping over here from the Death Healers. And it looks like Tectonics is quite upset about it. Just has to stare at this Geb and do his best to try to hopefully not lose it immediately, but he's going to find himself in a very awkward position. Cataclysm comes out from our Geb, and here comes Ganesha now. Man, you just got to watch the enemy team take the objective right in front of you. You can't do anything about it. You know how upsetting that must feel?
Oh, it never feels good. Scylla Aegis forced out here. Tsukiyomi looking for more.
Tsukiyomi finding more, ends up finding Tectonics on the back end over here. Aegis and Beads coming out from the Tsukiyomi, doing his best to get away now with his life. That's kind of what happens when you dive a tower, and it looks like he's going to end up getting a second kill over here on Jungle Scrub, and they are just turning the tables and shoving it down Death Healers. So they thought they were going to get a pick there, but Odin's Headhunter said, no, this is our game. This is our fight. We're going to get you another kill going the way of Lunar B on this Kukulkan this time, and Beastie McGrizzle ends up falling. And now so does the tier 1 tower. It looks like that is the plan for Odin's Headhunters.
Yeah, Twig just has great peel, making sure, hey, my Geb saved me, I'm going to save my Geb. Grabs himself another kill, and that is a good 3 for none in the mid lane. Knocks down that tower, and that opens up the map tremendously. Might be seeing another Gold Fury pretty soon. Pyromancer's going to start coming up. Going to need to pay attention to this Cherno and see how he rotates out of this lane.
That Tsukiyomi survived for a long time right there, and it looks like he's getting lifesteal on top of it. I'd love to see a Bloodforge. I have a feeling that it's going to be Gauntlet. My bad.
That's Soul Leader. The only item
Soul Leader,
that builds into a Soul Leader.
I would have loved to see it be a Bloodforge. It is a Soul Leader though. I would have love to see the Bloodforge, because when you're diving the tower, you get your pick, now you get a health shield. That's going to give you the survivability you need. I'm a little worried about the pickup on the Soul Eater. I said at the start of the game I was worried about the Tsukiyomi. Twig proving me wrong on that. I hope he proves me wrong with the Soul Eater pickup here.
Yeah, honestly, I do agree with your, Bloodforge idea there. At this point, he's going to be overcapping CDR. You're looking at 20 on Jotuns, 10 on Hydras, 10 on Soul Eater, and a minimum of 10 on that Bundles upgrade.
He's going to get the extra flat pen here from the Soul Eater. You got flat pen in your first item, percentage pen in your second item, flat pen in your third item. That's fine and dandy and all too. But if you don't have the power to back it up, and that's another reason I'd be looking towards the Bloodforge too. You get that extra power online, and now you're going to start dealing damage. Now your penetration means something. Penetration without power, not going to do too much. Power without penetration, you're also not going to do too much if they have a little bit of defense online. So a nice happy blend, although you do get decent power from the stacking item.
Yeah, you do get decent power, not as much as, let's say, a Heartseeker or something along that lines. Even, the massive, 65 power on Bloodforge? I know it's a high number.
Yeah. Ever since the nerf from power numbers that Hi-Rez put through a couple patches ago, I kind of lost track, because I knew it used to be up like 70, 75.
Yeah, it used to be so much,
And
Mages used to
power,
have
that's a
like
lot.
120 power items. Ganesha in a tough spot here. Looks like he may fall. Great body blocks come out from Jolly Green, and that is a good pick onto the support.
Beastie McGrizzle falling here during another Gold Fury spawn. This is going to spell danger. Death Stealers are kind of getting behind here in the gold department. About 4K right now. If this Gold Fury goes the way of the Headhunters yet again, we're going to see that get up to 5K, up to 6K. But Scylla coming on in. Tectonics trying to look for a steal, but going to get zoned out right here. Odin's Headhunters do secure it. Spirit of the Nine Winds do get put out. Aegis popped out over here by Tectonics on this Scylla, and he is doing his best to get away now. Some things you got to give, some things you got to try to get. I think if I'm Death Stealers, I'm recognizing that this Gold Fury is going to go the way of Odin's Headhunters. After we lost our support, what are we going to do about it? The Pyromancer's up on the other side. And now it looks like Odin's Headhunters are going that way.
Yeah, great awareness saying, oh, we gotta kill the only real secure on the map in that Scylla. Going to knock down that second objective and continue to lengthen this gold difference. And this is a scary point, you know, looking at about 6,500 or so on that difference, and they could run away with this game really fast.
Yeah, you know, that could very much spell danger. Death Dealers, Odin Hunters are trying to put this game away in two, and right now they're on the track to do just that. Everybody kind of clearing up waves over here, returning to farm. I mean, you have no objectives on the map. Beacon is going to be spawning very soon, though, and it looks like there are more members of the Death Dealers in the area than there are with the Headhunters, but that could change very quickly. You got a Chernobog ultimate. He could be anywhere at any point in this game. You know, doesn't matter. If that ultimate's up, he'll be there. Although it is on cooldown right now, so maybe a little bit less to worry about.
Yeah, he certainly is the
Let's back
X
up.
factor, you know. There could be a really good, you know, 3-on-4 fight, and all of a sudden Chernobog walks through the door. Haha, you can't catch me.
Well, just over in one of our final sieges in game number 1, over in the solo lane, it was a 4v4 fight, and both ADCs had global ultimates, but they're duking it out over in the duo lane. Then all of a sudden it's a 5v4, and then Apollo comes in, now it's a 5v5 again. You know, it's like, all right, these are what these gods can do. He had Athena on top of it, and it's the exact same thing. Death Dealers doing their best to try to stop this beacon from going the way of the Headhunters, but Headhunters are going to secure it nonetheless. And now, Ganesha finding himself in a little bit of danger, make that a lot of bit of danger as Ganesha gets sending back to the gray screen. Man, Beastie McGrizzle, he got his pick in the early game. But now it just feels like he's trying to do his best to support his team, but at the cost of his life.
Yeah, certainly. Having a real tough time just being the Ganesha, having the dash that can just be blocked out, and if they're able to put those resources into him, he's certainly going to be struggling. However, we got a big fight in mid.
Snips gets a solo kill over in the duo lane, but Odin's Headhunters are trying to push into this tier 2 tower in mid lane, and it looks like the tier 2 tower is going to end up falling, and almost his Bakasura make that almost to a guarantee. Jungle Scrub ends up falling as well. Tsukiyomi now on the chase, getting away. H. Diddy's going to find Twig over on the Tsukiyomi, but man, a little bit of a back and forth going on here, and Scylla ends up falling as well on Tectonics.
Yeah, that's a 3 for 4. Beastly McGriddle did die in the beginning of that fight, but getting those 3 picks onto the Odin's Headhunters, especially this incredibly large Tsukiyomi, is really going to give them a little bit back into the game.
A little bit back into the game, but that's an 18.5-minute tier 2 tower over for Odin's Headhunters. You know, you don't have that tower in mid now. This is going to open up a lot of opportunities for Headhunters to play over on the Fire Giants, and to play more aggressive in the jungle, play over for this Oni Fury that's going to be spawning in less than a minute.
Yeah, it does give them a lot of pressure on the map, and one thing, I was just looking at the builds. I love this charged bow pickup from the Izanami. If you're struggling in lane as an ADC, just get you some clear. You don't need to fight the guy. I'll just clear the wave in 2 seconds. I won't even think about fighting you. I don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, you don't remove backdoor protections if you can't get minions inside, and I mean, that does change once EFG comes online, but for the time being, you know,
Yeah,
zip
10
zap
minutes
auto attacks,
before
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tsukiyomi a little bit aggressive in his own jungle. Bakasura trying to get something is gonna get sent back to the gray screen. Yet again, Jungle Scrub falling 6 times for this Bakasura pick over here, and Tsukiyomi is about to be taken over to 20 relatively shortly.
Yeah, Jungle Scrub just not quite able to get his footings in this early and now mid game. And Frank is just not having a good time over here in the duo lane. Just not able to really get anything. Getting fought at his own purple. We do see a little bit of a contest. Not going to be there in time.
Odin's Headhunters taking away that Oni Fury, and Death Dealers looks like they didn't really learn from the first time around. Are going to find themselves caught out right here. Cataclysm over here in this duo lane by Jolly Green, and Twig is going to secure the kill on Franks from accounting. Tier 2 tower now maybe getting looked at as the members are moving around in this area quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like the Odin's Headhunters are now going to make their way to the tier 2 tower in the duo lane, shove it down here and take out some more. They have the Oni waves coming down, and Chef Bob is making their way down mid lane at the same time. Take that wave. Phoenix Siege? Question mark?
We could see it. I mean, Jolly Green does have the proactive Emperor's Armor here, making it a lot easier as a Cuckoo rips through.
Man, that tier 2 tower is standing, doing so much work right now, and Odin's Headhunters are on the foot. So many low HP bars. Tectonics finds Snips, and now Geb getting chased out, getting caught by the Ganesha dash. Beastie McGrizzle, fantastic job supporting his team, and H. Diddy secures that kill. Odin's Headhunters are in a full-scale retreat right now. Maybe a half-scale retreat, as Chef Bob is just taking the middle Phoenix with the Oni wave. Now full scale retreat. There we go.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of work in there, not quite able to finish it out. Is the Sun Wukong. Does have a little bit of power behind him, but not too much. In a little bit of a tough spot here. Does use the dash, and Ganesha is here.
Getting shredded, forced into the ultimate, gets up in the air. Izanami ult just a little bit too early. Or late. One of the two. A little bit too late, yeah. And comes back down on top of Frank. Chef Baba, you're not getting away with this, are you? No, he's gonna leave. He's gonna run away. Frank gets away with his life. What? Ooh, Blink coming out from the Sun Wukong. Tectonics just coming up short on the route. Still getting chased out here.
I mean,
But-
you can't chase a Sun Wukong. There's nobody that even comes close on the map to chasing out a Sun Wukong.
Janice.
Still, might be getting a little too big for the britches here. Level 17 could be in quite a bit of danger.
She thinks
Tsukiyomi
Chef Baba
here.
backed. That is not the case. Here comes Twig, and they just secure the kill on Tectonics over here in the dual lane. Pyromancer is up, though, on the opposite end of the map. Does not look like the Death Healers want to make their way over there. I mean, you do have a very healthy, very full of mana, and very strong Kukulkan right here.
Yeah,
sitting in
really
there.
strong Kukulkan, and we see the last beacon going over to Odin's Headhunter yet again. That is the third of the set, so these Titans are going to be marching down that solo lane shortly.
That's going to be really good for Odin's. If they play through these Titans right now, they could clean themselves up another tier 1, another tier 2. All towers gone over on the side of the Death Dealers, and they're in the driver's seat right now, marching it through, really showing the Death Dealers exactly what they came to play. You know, they came to play Smite Game, and they're doing exactly that.
Yeah, we've seen them keep that lead. Hasn't been growing as much as you might expect. Death Dealers keeping themselves in this game even if they are behind, but with these Titans about to march, with that Fire Giant up, we could see some really scary situations if they're able to push down that right lane with that Titan.
It's going to come down to these Titan plays. Our Izanami is split pushing over in the dual lane side. Okay, you know, Frank has the TP up. Granted,
Yep.
it's not upgraded TP. Speaking of
The
TP,
Frank
over here comes
special
Chef Baba.
is
The Frank
here.
special is here, indeed. Gets the TP over here. Geb ends up showing up, and it looks like the members of Odin's Headhunters are trying to collapse on Frank right now, and Frank is just running for his life. Gets caught out by the Geb rollout and is about to get caught out by a little bit more. Here comes Tsukiyomi. Here comes Geb. Twig ends up securing another kill on Frank's from accounting. Oh, man. You got to get the wards up. You got to know when to give up on your push.
Yeah, does try to, trade himself out for the tower, doesn't have quite enough in the tank, not going to be able to finish it. Almost gets away, but just not going to be able to escape.
Nice little team fight going on in mid. Hercules ends up dropping the ultimate. H. Diddy now just kind of running around doing Hercules things. Very healthy members on both sides. H. Diddy ends up falling to about half health, and so does BC McGrizzle during that. Odin's Headhunters are kind of pushing up this mid lane. Meanwhile, the Titans are clashing over in the solo lane. Nobody's really going to be pushing over there right now. Headhunters going to make their way in that direction. Try to clean up the Titan, maybe clean up some towers, and get themselves that extra bit on that gold lead that they have now.
Yeah, going to save themselves just a little bit of health on this Titan, possibly be able to use it for a tower or two. And I mean, if they get a kill or two off of this, they could certainly look for a Fire Giant and really open this game up.
It's okay. They got the bastions before the tower fell. That's what matters.
Gotcha. 150
Yeah.
gold.
Can't let that one go to waste. Titan's still pushing down with Chef Baba right now, but 4 members of Odin's Headhunters are making their way to the Fire Giant and will pick it up. Now, you have Jungle Scrub on the opposite end of the map looking towards the Gold Fury. You only have 4 members over here from the Death Healers. This is basic FG right now. Phoenixes are still defendable. What should you be doing right now? Maybe grouping up over with Jungle Scrub, maybe applying pressure around the map. Spirit of the Nine Winds does come through on this Fire Giant, and it does go the way of the Death Dealers. Now, BC McGrizzle finding himself a little bit out of position, and Chef Baba is chasing down the backline of the Death Dealers. BC McGrizzle down to about a quarter HP right now, pops the shell, but it's not enough. Does end up falling as well. Now, here comes the members of Odin's Headhunters. Tsukiyomi does come through and forcing the Aegis from Tectonics on this Scylla. Tectonics getting sent back to the gray screen again, and here comes Charnabug looking for Frank. Unable to get it. Death Dealers didn't get the Gold Fury. Now Headhunters are chasing down H. Diddy. You're gonna lose another member at this rate, and maybe some towers and some Phoenixes.
Yeah, definitely. These respawn timers getting a little bit staggered could spell disaster. Being about a 10-second delay between the support and the mid laner coming through. If Bakasura falls here, he's another 30 seconds out, and this could be incredibly hard to recover from.
really good from Odin's Headhunters, recognizing that HDD was just trying to kind of stall them in their backline and, guys, come chase me. You know, be a little bit of a, like, come on, come get me. Don't go for the red towers. You don't need those. They're going to back off, though, because he did stall long enough for Death Healers get a couple members back up and, you know, Scylla back up in 5 seconds. They're going to have enough members to defend these Phoenixes.
Yeah, definitely going to be able to defend those Phoenixes with those members, and even if they weren't, Headhunters are going to struggle to knock down those Phoenixes. Death Dealers were able to steal away that Fire Giant, so that's going to lessen the amount that they're able to do.
Something I want to look at here, too, okay? There are 22 kills on the side of Odin's Headhunters. 13 of them are on Twig on the Tsukuyomi. 7 of them are on Snips on this Chernobog. That is 20 out of 22 kills on these 2 members right now of your team. You know, Chef Baba and Luna are doing their best right now. They're applying kind of damage, but man, these 2 in general feel like they are kind of commanding. If you look over at the player damage charts as well, you know, you do see the damage from Twig. He's up there. He's in every fight. He's getting himself involved. 13 and 4, 17 out of 22 kill participation. Gold Fury going down right now. H. Diddy does not want to have it. Aegis Force on the Tsukuyomi, though. It could spell danger. He wants that shutdown, oh, but he's not going to get it. Instead, it looks like Jolly Green is going to be the target of the Death Dealers as they chase him out, and Jungle Scrub does pick that one up indeed. And the Gold Fury goes down on top of it. Man, Death Dealers are not ready to give this one up. And they're fighting into a Fire Giant around 4 members. Well, 3 members. Well, they have.
Yeah, Death Dealers stole it out, and now they are surging forward,
I'm blind.
possibly knocking down these towers. Yeah, they stole it.
I'm
The
blind.
Cuckoo Ult-
I'm
the
absolutely
Cuckoo Ult
blind.
was just a hair off of securing, and I think Tectonics was able to steal it with a crush.
I focused on the fight so much I didn't even see that. Death Dealers, okay, you know what? Go for it. Keep going. Keep taking these fights. Show the Odin's Headhunters what you guys are made of.
It
Oh,
might be a
wow.
little bit behind in items, but that Fire Giant is the great equalizer. Snips takes down Beastly McGrizzle in the back, but they're still in a good spot.
Well, they're closing that lead now. You know, you went from what, 6, 7, 8K, almost now to 4K. They're bringing it back. You have the advantage of having that Fire Giant around belts of 3 of your members, 2 of them being, you know, 2 of your hyper carries. With the Bakasura, unfortunately not longer on the Scylla. Odin's Headhunters do secure the Pyromancer. I'm going to make sure to keep an eye on that this time. You know, make sure the right team is getting the objective that I think it is. Oh, man. Odin's Headhunters, though, you know, it's like, okay, so you got a little bit of your gold back. What are you going to do now? This next Fire Giant needs to get defended. It is Enhanced Fire Giant when it comes up. There's going to be a good team fight. Oh, Death Dealers need to be there, getting these wards up, and so do the Odin's Headhunters.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's tough to really say how they can take these fights differently. You know, they don't have necessarily a team fight team. They can play a little bit off of the Dharmic pillars from the Ganesha, but they need to be able to kind of find their picks, you know? Who's going to be taking this I'm a monster for their whole health bar? Is Jungle Scrub going to be able to just say, hey, Jolly, you're a Geb. If I press 4 on you, you're just going to die? So I'd love to see them maybe focus a little bit more on picks coming into this Fire Giant fight.
We said it in picks and bans. Death Dealers picked this picked this pick style team comp over here, okay? You have the Hercules, you have the Ganesha, the Bakasura, Scylla damage coming over with the top. You know, we want to lock people down. We want to deal the damage to individuals, go from one target to the next, but it feels like there's no coordination there to do just that. A little bit of a team fight going on over here as we see Jolly Green pop that Geb Cataclysm, and it looks like 2 members over here, the front line of the Death Dealers, are in danger. Dharmic Pillars does come out from a Ganesha, but Mystic McGrizzle ends up falling to Chef Baba. And during this all time, Frank is taking a Phoenix. Here comes the Chernobog ultimate. Snips making his way on in and teleport as well, and Frank ends up falling to the Snips on this Chernobog. 2 members now over in the duo lane. And Death Dealers are just going to be happy to kind of back off. Low HP bars, though, on the side of Odin's Headhunters over here.
Yeah, Tectonics just not quite able to land that I'm a monster. And I mean, if he was able to get that reset, we could have realistically seen him grab a triple kill there. Unfortunate, just like Frank says, oh, hey, you're pushing the Phoenix? Well, I'm a Chernobog. And Chef Baba, he has teleport up. You're not going to be able to get that for free. Not going to fully commit to that Fire Giant fight. Instead, we're going to make sure we keep our Phoenix up. And Death Dealers finally grabbed themselves a beacon, their first one of the game.
Well, yeah, you're looking at this Chernobog, okay? Chernobog saying, you're not the split push god. I'm the split push god. Well, why are you over here? Who decided you could do this? Members of Odin's Headhunters making their way over to the Fire Giant pit, though. There's good vision on the side of Death Healers, though. And this is Enhanced Fire Giant. They need to make a defense here, but it just seems like they don't have the members enough. Picked up over here, getting still very healthy. You don't have your carry there yet.
Yeah, Tectonics is making his way over there too. Does have the Yama Monster coming up pretty shortly, 3/4 of the way.
Yeah,
done.
but look at that health bar over on this Scylla. Ends up getting deleted by Twig on this Tsukiyomi pick. Fire Giant gets dropped by the Headhunters, and it looks like they're going to be happy kind of taking that fight and seeing what they can do.
Looks like we might see Frank going for round 2, walking his way back up that left lane. Not gonna take no for an answer, that's for certain.
It is the persistent teleport now. Okay, so he can go to wards on the map and kind of move around where he wants to. Is he going to be able to respond in time, though, to a Chernobog ult flying onto his face?
Oh, there
We're
it is.
about to find out. As Chernobog comes flying through, Snip's able to find Izanami, dashing towards him, knows what direction she went, finds her through the stealth, and Snips is on the chase down right now of Frank from accounting. Frank doing his absolute best, but look at those autos coming through, just peppering this Izanami. Ends up falling yet again. Is Split pushing the play for Frank right now, or should he be grouping up with his team over by the Fire Giant?
It might be a play style, but I don't think it is the play this game. It's been punished both of the times he's gone for it. I think they realistically just need to say, okay, all right, it's not working. They have too many tools to stop us from doing it. We just need to group up and take a fight on this FG. It's EFG. We're only sitting at about, 7,500 or so gold difference, so it's not a far game.
Not too far at all, considering being 33 minutes into the game, grouping is going to be the option. I mean, we've been saying it time and time again, even through picks and bans. Grouping is what this team needs to do if they want to succeed. They need to group. They need to get these picks. They need to play as a unit. And it just feels like there's a lot of separation. I'm going to walk up over here. I'm going to maybe look over here, and nobody's looking at the Sun Wukong who's walking up to our Phoenix line. Guys, group up, go for the same target, and you might see a little bit of a difference come out in these team fights.
Yeah, group up on a target as we see Sun Wukong getting himself ran at just a little bit. Quite a few members looking. Ganesha getting a little bit of CST. Is Hurt going to be able to push him back in?
Never expect this one.
Herc, speaking of getting pushed back in, H. Diddy ends up falling to Twig. 15th kill for this Tsukiyomi. And now the Odin's Headhunters are marching their way down the solo lane because Snips is just sitting in the jungle side getting peppering autos into this Ganesha. Tsukiyomi does come through. Beastie McGrizzle ends up falling, and they have 3 bombs in pocket right now and an Oni wave. I feel like this Phoenix is about to get deleted from the
They
map.
might have 3 bombs, but 2 of them are on Chef Baba. Going to fall. No, that was not him. I am silly. That was the clone. Chernobog incredibly low. Great Scylla ult, but not going to be quite enough.
That's always the unfortunate thing when you're sitting there. I'm like, I got Sun Wukong. I'm killing him. Oh, no, that wasn't Sun Wukong.
I didn't even realize he ulted. I was like, oh, he's gonna walk up and throw bombs and die for it. Nope, that's a clone. You're silly.
He's just
you're
AFK
funny.
walking. Clearing up the waves, death dealers. Now you don't have the only waves pushing into your towers. Now's the time, right? Surely now's the time to group up at this Fire Giant pit.
Yeah, they are going to have enough time to, at the very least, grab their front line. Jungle Scrub a little bit longer on the gray screen, but should be able to get there in time to at least have a chance to contest this Fire Giant. Would like to see Tectonics get, a little bit more health from the fountain, but it's hard to find enough time to. He is their best chance at stealing this. Has the crush, has the I'm a monster, has the best secure on the map.
Has all that, but doesn't have his upgraded starter right now. We're 35 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it does not have that upgraded starter, does not have as much cooldown as he might like, only sitting at a maximum of 30%. I guess he could have 40 if he has the blue mask, but certainly would feel a little bit better with that pendulum or even the alternate timeline.
H. Diddy getting caught out again, poked out again, but never mind. Beastie McGrizzle might end up falling, trying to protect his solo laner. H. Diddy finds Snips, though, not before Twig finds Jungle Scrub. Oh man, members are falling from both sides. H. Diddy picks up a second on a Jolly Green. Death Dealer's putting up a good fight here right now. 1 for 2 over in this solo lane fight.
Yeah, great defense comes out. They get a little bit overzealous, pushing a little bit too close to that base, and they pay for it dearly. Twig loses the majority of his health bar. Jolly Green and Snips, the duo lane, do fall, and that gives that gives Death Dealers a good chance to possibly even take down this Fire Giant and get themselves in position to win this game.
Man, I wanted to say Twig, you know, he's got a good power and stuff like that. Could have a little bit more, but no, this Tsukiyomi 17-1, 17-1-7. He's 24 out of 31 kill participation. I keep bringing it up because it is atrocious that he is able to get in there, get his ultimates, not get shut down. Death Dealers trying for this Fire Giant right now, getting it down to about 5% HP, but there are two members of Odin's Headhunters here, and the Odin's Headhunters take the enhanced Fire Giants away from the Death Dealers. Now the chase down fight ends up coming. Who's gonna get out? Tsukiyomi is not here, but here comes Sun Wukong forced up into the ultimate, and a grouping over here as Chef Baba ends up finding Beastie McGrizzle. Man, they took the Fire Giant.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're able to take that Fire Giant. I really thought they had a good shot at securing that. Beastly McGrizzle had a great play with just running at Lunar Bee, getting that Ohm up to make sure that the Spirit of the Nine Winds comes out, but the rest of her team had other plans. They said, you don't have to steal it, we got it. Could still see some great plays come out from Jungle Scrub here.
Phoenix is finally going down. Jungle Scrub getting on in there, but the alternate timeline comes out from the Kukulkan. He ends up picking up Snips, though. Man.
Does grab the
Good
most
play.
important member. Not really going to be able to have the confidence to end quite yet without their ADC. Geb chasing down H. Diddy, not giving him a chance. They might have been able to end there with the solo laner not being able to get back. Tectonics is now up, though, so should be able to clear those minions out. Might lose the remaining two birds, but the game is not over yet.
H. Diddy kind of getting collapsed on by the members of Odin's Headhunters right now. Hopefully he gets away. He does have that breast rate of regrowth right now. Not going to be too worried. Plenty of
I remember
cooldown,
good
heal
old
up,
days.
run away.
Good old days of shield to free growth.
Oh, dude. Shield of regrowth Naja. Zoom. Push button zoom. I loved it.
It's still a good item. I'm just, you know.
It's just not shield of regrowth, though. Yeah, big difference. Shields are lighter
not
than
the
breastplates.
same.
Yeah. Allows you to move faster, right?
I mean, now it does give you extra power, though.
That's
That's
true.
one of the ones that I forget about a lot. It gives you a decent amount of power. I want to say it's what 20 or
It is-
30 power after you heal with an ability. I know it's something like that.
At the end of the day, though, what do you want? Do you want power or do you want to zoom? Because
Yes.
I personally want to zoom.
I would like both. If I can be offered both, I'll take them.
Just give me
But at the
old
end of the day, I
Bumba's
want to
mask
go
back.
fast.
I gotta go fast, man.
Bumba's
give me old
mask,
Bumba's mask back.
I miss my beloved.
God, we had some Bumba's mask plus Talaria boots. Those were the days, let me tell you.
The good old days when you would roam the map before the game started to get your 25 gold from hitting an enemy god.
Oh, man.
Oh, the good old days.
Might as well just add teleport to the gods again, you know? We'll just have everybody be Athena yet. Oh, man.
You know, just add in combat blink, you know? We deserve it.
Combat blink. No more. Beast McGrizzle getting collapsed on by the members of Odin Headhunters. Absolutely deleted. They still have that enhanced Fire Giant around the belt. Fire minions pushing down in the solo lane, and the members of Headhunters are pushing down two lanes right now. Having a good 3-2 split, it looks like, but maybe more of a grouping over on the duo lane side.
Yeah, looking like a little bit more focus onto this left side, this duo lane, and I can't blame them. It's certainly the Phoenix that everybody wants to go down the most, but looking away from Chef Baba for a couple seconds could spell disaster. He does still have a bomb available.
Last time we looked away from Chef Baba, he was just solo lane pushing down by himself. Snips picking up Jungle Scrub, trying to make an initiation, but very difficult to do into 5 members of Odin's Headhunters. Now we see the duo lane Phoenix ends up going down, and the Headhunters are making their way into the fountain room of the Death Dealers. Another member going down. H. Diddy falls to Lunar B, and the Titan is now under siege. Odin's Headhunters absolutely depleting the health bar down to 50%. Spirit of the Nine Winds comes on out. Aegis forced, but not enough. Odin's Headhunters end up taking game 2 and putting away this set 11-38 in 41 minutes. And Scylla doesn't need a starter item.
Still, yeah, does not finish the starter item before the Titan is finished off, and that was such a great showing from Twig. I mean, he might have built 60% cooldown, but can you blame him? He went 19-1.
Should have gotten Bobble. That's all I can say. You know, you get the ball, get the extra CDR. Why not? At that point, might as well. But he clearly knows something more than we do, going 19-1-12 in this game. Look at that. 38k damage, matched him with the Sun Wukong, but 19-1-12.
Yeah,
Applying it
19-1
as
and
much
12
pressure.
is insane. That is a ridiculous stat line, and might have to look back at this game in the coming weeks if you are facing these headhunters. Make sure we ban out the 19-1 Tsukiyomi.
I honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like Death Dealers needed to play to the strength of their team comp more. Getting the picks, grouping up, because is this Tsukiyomi really going to ult in to a Scylla who just Aegis's? I would eat the shots. Aegis. Tsukiyomi's coming to me. Now I have a Ganesha next to me and an Izanami next to me. What do you do as Tsukiyomi at that point? We just, okay, thank you. It's
I
very
believe
nice seeing you guys.
You do the Tsukiyomi thing where you go in and then you instantly die, and you hope
Yeah.
your team follows up.
Guys, I'm going in, guys. You know? But that wasn't the case. Headhunters instead showing that they're the ones with the pick comp, getting members off left and right of the Death Dealers and just really running away with that game. It felt like it was in the ball was in the court of the Odin's Headhunters the entire time.
Yeah, they got that nice early lead, did not let off the gas pedal, and they played their comp incredibly well.
Played it incredibly well and led them to a 2-0 victory here Saturday night. We want to thank y'all for coming on out. I'm Zach Vexel. With me was Ruler of Menon over on the spectating. Walking around was, Deacon over there. He did a pretty good job, I guess. Thanks, guys, for coming on out to Frank's retirement home, Otis Headhunters versus Death Dealers, and we will catch you guys next time.
Tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.